A 70 Cuda convertible that you could drive every day of the week. The Plymouth Cuda is one of the most popular muscle cars of all time, and for good reason. These cars had great looks, and when you ordered them with the right power plant, they were outstanding performers. And they also came in a bunch of different packages, like the 340 6-barrel AAR Cuda, which was a road race version with wild stripes and a high revving 340, all the way up to the Hemi Cuda with the 425 horsepower 426 Hemi under the hood. And that's the car that a lot of people associate with the pinnacle Cuda. The Hemi Cuda convertible, as a matter of fact, is kind of the pinnacle muscle car, especially when it comes to current values. But there was a lot of other Cuda versions, and today we're looking at a very clean 1970 Cuda convertible that's powered by the base model 340 cubic inch V8 and a single 4-barrel. Now that's not the base model Barracuda engine, because the Cuda was actually a slightly different model from the Barracuda. A Barracuda, you could get a 6-cylinder or a 318, but when you stepped up to the sportier Cuda model, the base engine was the 340. Certain muscle cars were really cool because they had high-powered engines and they might have gone really fast, but the reality with some of those is that they would overheat all the time and they just weren't fun to drive. This car is pretty cool because it's got a mild 340 cubic inch V8, but it is loaded with options to make any day a nice day to drive. And although this was the entry-level engine, that 340 is a very good performing engine. With the 4-barrel, they rated it at 275 horsepower at 5,000 RPM and 340 foot-pounds of torque at 3,200 RPM. And the internals of this engine are what make it unique. The 340 started off basically as a 318 block with a bigger bore and stroke combination. The 340 received a forged crankshaft and special high-flowing bigger valve cylinder heads. Of course, that had a different camshaft and 4-barrel intake manifold. It's fed by a Carter AVS aluminum vacuum secondary 4-barrel carburetor, and that combination allowed these engines to spin high. You'll note that the peak horsepower is at 5,000 RPM, which is pretty high for a V8 engine from 1970. Behind the 340 is an automatic transmission, and this car is riding on 14x6 rally wheels. When you look at the time period, big engine muscle cars were being penalized by insurance companies with high premiums, so the automakers were looking to beef up the smaller displacement engines to give similar performance. You wouldn't get the exact performance of a 426 Hemi, of course, but you did get a car that was pretty quick, and being lighter in the nose, it was actually a better handling car than the Hemi cars. In my opinion, the 70 Cuda is one of the cleanest looking muscle cars ever designed, and this one really stands out, especially for the color. It's wearing code EB5 Fire Blue Metallic, which just really looks nice on this car. The hood is the 340 hood with the canted scoops, which is kind of an interesting design. The grille surround has a rough texture around it, which contrasts really nicely with the super smooth elastomeric body-colored front bumper. So overall, the whole nose is a really tight package. The color of the top is white, which is a nice contrast to the EB5 blue, but the interior is also blue. So it's kind of funny to think today about ordering a car in a bright color with a matching interior of the same color as the outside. But no, Mopar was famous for doing bright colors back in the day, and this one, wearing EB5 on the inside and out, really stands out when you see the car in person. This Cuda convertible is loaded to the gills with options, starting with some of the basic stuff like power steering and power brakes. It's got an automatic transmission, but it also has a power convertible top, power windows, air conditioning. It's got an AM radio in the dash, dual side mirrors, but one of the most unique things, I think, is that the clock still works. It's got the high-backed vinyl bucket seats, the full deluxe door panels, the interior light package, the Rally instrument cluster package in the dash, which includes a big tachometer, the full-length console with the wood grain trim. So the interior of this car is a comfortable place to be with a lot of options to pamper the driver. There's a few exterior options as well. This one has the hood and fender mounted turn signals, the hood pins, belt moldings, dual exhaust, the wide door sill moldings, and one of the more controversial items, which would be the deck lid luggage rack. And of course, numbers surround muscle cars, and people always talk about production figures and the fact that the Hemi Cuda convertible is such a low production car. But believe it or not, the 340 four-barrel convertible with an automatic transmission is also a very low production car. It seems that Chrysler only made about 155 1970 convertible Cuda 340 four-barrel automatic cars. This is one of many Cuda convertibles in the brothers collection, and I think it's one of the more unique cars. Of course, everybody loves the Hemi cars, but this one, with the combination of style, color, and power plant, makes it a standout in my mind. Now, the last time we showed you a luggage rack on the back of a Cuda convertible, our email box basically exploded with comments. So if you want to tell us how much you like this one, you can send us an email to letters@musclecaroftheweek.com. Of course, you can always use a Facebook comment or a YouTube comment to express your... Really? Wow, you guys are fast. Oh, I don't think it's that bad. We'll see you next week. I don't know where you can get one. It is a nice rack.